Hi everyone, I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Pat Calvin here in Houston, Texas. It is August 13th, Saturday evening, and here's the update on Tropical Wave Invest 98L. Not too much going on here still, but it has started to see a little bit of more organization from earlier this morning. Notice now in the wind streams you can see kind of a broad closed area of circulation. Again, not very well organized, and the odds for this developing are still very low, only about 20%. So we're up 10% from this morning, not a significant change, and this is going to continue to move out towards the west and the southwest, towards Corpus Christi, towards the Rio Grande Valley, and away from us here in Houston. You know, we'll still get a few showers and storms in Houston, but this is going to be a big rainmaker for South Texas as we get into Sunday and the start of the upcoming week. So, depression or not, you know, whether or not this thing develops, same impacts. We're still expecting showers and storms here in southeast Texas, and we're expecting the heaviest of the rainfall to stay to our south through South Texas, through the Rio Grande Valley, and as you get out towards the Texas and Mexico border over the next 24 to 48 hours. And the reason for that, the reason why it's going to stay farther south, has to do with that high to the north that's going to push that area of low pressure to the south. And then as we get into next week, it'll kind of just ride around the bottom periphery of that high, eventually going out towards the desert southwest. But again, the brighter yellow shading in here indicating some pretty stout rainfall totals. So let's time it out with FUTURETRACK. Through the overnight, we could see a few downpours, maybe one or two thunderstorms. The activity really starts to pick up, though, for tomorrow morning. So around sunrise, we'll see scattered downpours for the coast, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. That activity will lift north of I-10 around midday. And I think the rain chances do taper off the farther north you go, but everyone has a chance to see something as we get into tomorrow. But watch this. By the afternoon, by the evening, I mean, we totally start to dry out. And that's because this system, by that point, will pretty much have moved onshore, so we're not really tapping into that Gulf moisture anymore. So the rain chances for Sunday here at home break down like this: about a 60% chance at the coast, 40% along I-10, and then once you get north of Montgomery County, let's say north of Washington County, that's when they really start to drop off to about 20% chances. Different story, though, for South Texas. Let's show you a FUTURETRACK for this area from Port Lavaca, Victoria, through Rockport, Corpus Christi, all the way down even towards Brownsville. We're talking about a pretty good period here of heavy rainfall. And South Texas, just like southeast Texas where we are, needs the rain just as badly. So watch this. The yellow, the orange shading here indicating these heavier downpours. Wherever you get these lines of rain, right, these big rain bands kind of feeding off the Gulf of Mexico, this is where you could see some flooding because it just rains very heavily over one area for an extended period of time. So that's what we're going to be watching for as we go through Sunday. And look at this. It's not done after it moves inland. In fact, the rain kind of becomes more widespread Sunday night into Monday morning. So again, parts of South Texas here just to the west of Corpus Christi could really rack up some impressive rainfall numbers in excess of a half a foot in a few spots, especially where you see that yellow shading. So a pretty broad area here where we're going to see some of that heavier rainfall as we get into the start of the week. Here at home, not quite as impressive, which is a bummer because, again, we do need it to break this drought that we're in. North of I-10, you're lucky if you squeeze out a half an inch to an inch, and not everyone is going to see it. But south of I-10, there's a pretty good chance that most of us see something as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours. Beyond this, we're not tracking anything in the Atlantic or the Gulf of Mexico, but we are starting to get into the part of the year where activity starts to ramp up, historically speaking. But again, even on August 13th, you know, over the next week or two, activity looks to stay quiet. The peak of the season is September 10th, and then things will slowly start to drop off once we go through October and November. So that's the latest update for you as of, again, August 13th, Saturday evening in the tropics. We're still watching 98L. Bottom line, it's going to be a big rainmaker for South Texas. Any questions, comments, concerns? Find us on social media, and you can always get the latest updates online and on air.